oh boy, about the Clinton Foundation taking donations from foreign countries, including the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Oman. John, what in God's name are the Clintons doing? Why are they taking legal, but so sketchy, if you want to be president, why are they taking this overseas money for the foundation, which does great work?
Mark,
and the legal, great work, but why are they doing this?
I'd like to say two words to you, Mark. Lincoln bedroom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Joining us now is Susan Ferrechio, Chief Congressional Correspondent for the Washington Examiner. And Susan, always glad to see you. Let's start on this very quickly. Not only talking about the Clinton Foundation accepting foreign donations now, but there's great scrutiny of Hillary Clinton's ties to corporate donors and lobbyists while she was Secretary of State, and that's coming under great scrutiny now. And, you know, she's in hiding somewhere, and to me, all these things keep piling up that she's going to have to come up with good explanations for, and this, I think, is one of them.
Well, for Mrs. Clinton, though, the advantage of all of this is that it's happening now, and it's not happening next year. That this is coming up now, all the skeletons come pouring out of the closet ahead of time. So by the time the campaign season is in full swing, Steve, this stuff has been tread upon and is old news. And I think that, if anything, that's going to help the Clintons. Right now, the question is whether she can get past the scrutiny of these foreign donations. This is nothing new. We've been all talking about the donations to the Clinton Foundation and how it may impact her. Don't forget, she, you know, separated herself from the foundation while she was secretary and is, you know, not supposedly connected with any of the workings behind the scenes and otherwise about the donations to the foundations. And this is the argument that she will make. But the point you make about Mrs. Clinton being in hiding, that is a very interesting one, too, because I have always argued that she is not a shoo-in for the Democratic nomination because I'm not entirely sure she's going to run. I think there are a few big factors that may stop her. One of them being her connections, obviously, through the Clinton Foundation with some of these things that may not look very good for her as a candidate, and also some health issues that she'll have to go public with.
Like what? What health issues?
Well, I would have to argue that we still are not fully clear on what happened to her when she fell and then ended up, you know, appearing to have vision problems. There are a lot of questions about what exactly happened to her. How serious was it?
Right.
This is going to be a huge issue if she's running for president. So there's a whole bunch of things, I think, that have given the Clintons pause, if you will, and it's one of the reasons why she's, I think, keeping a low profile right now, just to see where all this stuff shakes out about the Clinton Foundation. But it's early, and that helps her. It's early.
Let's talk about a piece you wrote, a really fascinating piece, and how once again the Obama administration is circumventing the Congress by declaring, I think yesterday they declared 3 new national monuments, and they're doing this under the Antiquities Act. Explain.
This gives the president the right to declare national monuments on federal lands that are already managed by the government. But when you make them a national monument, it allows more regulation and more control by the government. And it's been in place since 1906. Now, the president who used it the most was President Clinton. But the President Obama right now, he's named 16. He's got 2 years left in his term. Clinton named 21. And there's a whole list of areas of land that the Department of the Interior would like the president to name as national monuments in order to afford it further protection and further government regulation.
And how could the Republicans, as you indicate in your piece today, how could they stop that?
Well, they're formulating different options. One bill would require congressional consent. Another bill would require that the president, before declaring any land mass a national monument, that he would have to go through certain hoops with the National Environmental Protection Act that would require hearings and public input. It wouldn't be so easy for the president, who right now can just unilaterally declare big swaths of land to be national monuments. And that's upsetting to some of the locals who fear it's going to infringe on their rights to use motorized vehicles on the property or to raise animals, etc. So.
Unbelievable. All right, we got a minute left. What's the future of this DHS in the wake of the court hearing, the court decision in Texas?
Well, I think what's going to happen is the 27th is going to roll around. The Republicans are going to be faced with a big question. Do they want to let the Department of Homeland Security funding run out? I think the answer to that question is going to be no, and that they will be able to say that, look, it's okay for us to do another short-term measure to keep it funded, even if it doesn't include the language stopping the president from implementing these immigration directives, because the Texas court, as we all know, has issued a stay that will prevent them from being implemented anyway. I think that's going to be the so-called off-ramp for Republicans at the end of the week.
All right, Susan, great to talk to you. Have a great weekend. We'll speak to you soon.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Susan Ferrechio, ladies and gentlemen. Next, it's the Malzberg panel.